With Matt and Nick from the Arctic Monkeys. Welcome to the programme. Busy time for you. Back on tour. Busy time, I imagine.
Yeah.
Early start every day?
No.
I woke up disgustingly late today.
Did you?
Yeah, I feel terrible.
Oh, really?
About it.
Oh.
The clock was scowling at you.
I set my alarm for 10.
Yeah.
And then I just did it every hour again till about 1. And I don't have no excuse either. I didn't even drink or nothing.
Is there someone on the phone straight away saying you should have been here, you should have been there?
I mean, quite a late start usually, don't we?
Yeah. I was on time still. It's just that that's a big laying.
Lazy. Don't you feel guilty? Half the day's gone.
I do, actually.
Isn't it? Best part of the day.
I like getting up early. Like if I do and I've got no choice, and then I do feel better for it if I've actually achieved something by noon.
We don't. I mean, we don't work until 9 o'clock at night.
You've got to look at it that way. It's like a night shift.
You wake up late. You're saving most of your energy for that
fireman.
time. You don't want to be getting tired, while you're on, I suppose.
Absolutely. But you don't want to be mentally drained by mid-afternoon.
You don't want to just waking up. You want to just be waking up when you go on.
In terms of the gigs so far, is it the same set list every night? And did the set list pick itself, or do you sit there for hours trying to work it out like a science?
Alan Cookie do quite a bit. Yeah, they're like a change every now and again.
They're the professors.
Yeah.
But
is it? I mean, you do some DJing. Is it like building a DJ set? Right, we're hitting with this.
Yeah, I suppose it is. You've got to think of it that way. Like, what's going to happen when, and like sometimes you do it wrong, and you really do notice. But yeah, we still change it about every now and then. Like we've changed it within this tour already, but then changed it back again.
What are you starting with?
Dance Little Liar at the moment.
Oh yeah, you see, and then the most important thing is, as a hardened gig goer of many years, it's that second song. That's where the bands go wrong.
Well,
that's the second song.
That's where you bring them back. So you do a new one.
Yeah.
First, and if you think you're losing them, then we're straight in with Brian Storm.
Yeah,
I mean, with no chance for a breath, it's straight in.
Old safety net. Yeah.
It's a safety net.
So what we're going to do in the next half an hour, we've spoken previously earlier in the year about the album itself, but we thought we'd dig into the influences a bit behind the current records, and we're going to play some bits of music to help us, illustrate some of the inspirations behind it from this list, which you've very kindly furnished us with. So we're going to start with this. Nick Cave. This is Red Right Hand. You see, this one we sort of knew about because you covered this.
Yeah.
In fact, it was on a B-side of Crying Lightning, but it's also on the Japanese version of the album, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. You give him a couple more to stop it.
Just demand more.
Otherwise they don't let you go.
Yeah. So Nick Cave, why particularly that track? Was that? Obviously as a song to cover, but Nick Cave in general.
Yeah. He's just like someone we've got into a lot over like the past year or two, and when we first were around. I kind of heard of him and heard the hits, but never really kind of got that into him. And then later started listening to it and got really into it. And
what is it about Nick Cave?
I don't know. Just obviously the lyrics are pretty amazing, and I don't know. He's got something about him that makes him.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking when I was listening to it earlier on, because I went back and listened to the Nick Cave version, which we just played. There is something about Nick Cave. He's one of the last truly unapproachable rock stars.
It's really gloomy.
If you saw him in the street, you wouldn't go over.
If he was there at the bar. Yeah, exactly. He's kept it up he hadn't lost it like a lot of people who were really good in the day.
Yeah.
And you kind of dress a bit funny now and and lose, which is probably normal for an older gent to do, but he's kind of kept that up, he's still cool.
Yeah,
is
he 50 now or something, and he's still putting people in the teens to shame in bands.
Exactly.
People in the 20s, he's still flying kicks and looks great and everything. And
it's weird that there's a generation around there from that sort of post-punk era, and then who have aged pretty well.
Yeah, some
of them, and even attitudinally have aged
exactly.
Really well, and turned into brilliant sort of the punk rock version of Grumpy Old Men, or the gothic version of Grumpy Old Men. But I think the other thing about that particular track, it's got this really sleazy lounge feel.
That version. Yeah,
it's quite a creepy kind of feel to it, really, like shadows and very gloomy.
All right, we're going to play a couple of more now. Creedence Clearwater Revival, and then a bit of John Cale, but we'll start with this from Creedence. So Creedence Clearwater Revival and John Cale, but we should start with Creedence, because looking at the sleeves of some of their albums, I now understand where Jamie got his haircut.
That's probably the most inspiration he took from it.
Is it?
That's it.
Creedence, where did you come across Creedence Clearwater? Every time somebody says Creedence, man, it always reminds me of the Big Lebowski.
Yeah. It's I don't know. The first time I heard Susie Q was, I think Josh played it. I think I'd probably heard it, but not really known who it was or something like that, and he kind of played it as, because the feel of the song was something we wanted to try and recreate without ripping it off.
Yeah.
And and it's that one we kind of listened to quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because we were all like into it straight away.
It's got quite a nice looseness about it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of space in there,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Nice
It's like
and
very
laid
open.
back.
Yeah. But are they typical of that sort of era where bands didn't even sound like they were trying sometimes?
Yeah.
You know, how annoying is that? They just go,
And they just nail
Like,
it.
it's like really catchy and hooky at the
Yeah,
same time.
exactly.
Like,
yeah. And as you say, a lot of space. And John Cale, which is something I probably wouldn't have had you down as fans of, but John Cale?
I mean, that's the cover of Heartbreak Hotel that on Slow Dazzle that we've picked. As well as that, I think it's a vintage violence album that we were listening to a lot. It's like got a song called Big White Cloud on it that's amazing. And like we'd never really listened to him until like 6 months or like a year ago, and just kind of you think, God, I can't believe I've never listened to this before. This is great. So he's just one of them.
I mean, some of this music was this all part of the sort of emboldening process of thinking, actually, we can do things in a completely different way.
A lot of it kind of came along at a similar time. Like it seemed like we started listening to a lot of new stuff. Not new music, I mean new to us.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, like, where's all this come from? Or whatever. I don't know why you would think that. There's obviously still loads of things that we've never heard that are going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose that much like information going into bound to have an influence on it.
And when you find something new, do you then immerse yourself in it for like the next week? Right, I've listened to that album.
Yeah,
I'll
if
go find the
it's
next
something
one.
that you really like, then you really like research it and you find, if they were in bands
what they
before
were
and
into.
what they were like and what influenced them, and it's like one big kind of web that you get yourself into, I suppose.
Yeah. Although sometimes I find you get sold a swerve. I mentioned this earlier on in the programme, but yesterday on the show we played a track by a band called Fad Gadget. Well, a guy called Fad Gadget. It was on Mute Records, so it's early, sort of slightly electro. And then it came up in one of those, on the you like open an internet site, so if you like this,
Oh, they're
you'll like
related.
this.
Other people bought this.
So this is but right, it's on Mute Records. It's quite dark. It's from 1980. It's a difficult sort of pop song. If you like this, Fad Gadget, you'll love Fun Time by Donna Summer. No, you won't.
Put that together.
You
Sold the
won't.
kipper.
But you know those things,
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah.
But, so there's a danger in doing that.
Yeah, it can be, yeah.
Right, we should have some more music. So what should we do next? Rocky Erickson, this is If You Have Ghosts.